the rain just starting to come into Apalachicola. Here's that center of circulation. We can show you actually the rain coming. We have a camera. It's really cool. We'll show it to you later, the rain versus the clouds coming in. Again, offshore, we have no friction here. Okay, we do have friction, technically speaking. But over the ocean versus the land, it's like going over hardwood with a car versus hitting the carpet. All right, so you're going to get some of those higher gusts with these buoys out here, but still all's quiet along the shore. And I don't think wind is going to be the big issue. And where you do get those stronger winds, Alabama, Mississippi border is going to be a very small section of you. It's going to be the rain. That's what's going to get you. Most of it is going to be on the east side. New Orleans, I think you're going to fare very well with this system, by the way. And you see that. Most of it is all, even the severe weather, out of New Orleans, everything, Alabama, Mississippi, and portions of Florida with those bands that are coming on through. So it's forecast to be a hurricane. Remember, 74 miles an hour, flooding not only at the coast, but also inland with this system. And I wouldn't be surprised if we actually had more flooding issues from this system into the plains in the Midwest, Jim, than we do along the Gulf Coast, even though we're expecting 6 to 8 inches. Yeah. A, we need it because we're 46 inches behind for the year, and the soil is different. It could be worse for the people inland than at the coast when it comes to this.
I could not agree with you more. I could not agree with you more. The big concern here in Gulfport and really down this way, Pensacola is an area that's prone to flooding. Does a band come up and just sit there? All right, that's really it, I think, in terms of the rainfall. In terms of the core of this thing, that'll come and go. But does one of those outer rain bands just come and sit there? And that'll be the thing that we're watching. Again, guys, nothing changes. Cone's not going to change here. I don't know how they're going to change any kind of strengthening thinking, even from the Hurricane Center at 11 o'clock. But, again, that's not my call. Given the fact that we're pretty confident in the direction this is heading, notice the core and the highest probabilities of the tropical storm force winds. All right, essentially from Mobile Bay over to the Louisiana-Mississippi line. That's what we're looking at. So that includes the entire coast here. We'll probably deal with those tropical storm force wind gusts. There may be a small section with that core, if it intensifies to a hurricane, that we get the hurricane gust. But it's so small, we can't even put it on the map. Again, with those bands coming in, strong winds, possibly gusting to 39 miles an hour or greater. This is the likely timing, the earliest timing of those tropical storm force winds. And you can see through this afternoon and through this evening, it all pushes to the northwest. Just like we expect the center to push to the northwest, so go the winds, and that's exactly what we're showing you on this wind forecast. Now, notice again, we still don't show anything above 45 coming to the coast until about 3 o'clock this afternoon. Then, boom, here we go. Cameron and Mobile, winds will shift out of the south. We're probably have the strongest winds when the shift is out of the south, because the storm will be off to our west. And New Orleans, notice again, we're almost void of wind there entirely. And not to mention, given the fact that we're dry, we're also going to be on the west side of the system. So again, like Steph said, I think we're looking really good in New Orleans. In terms of the windfall, we're going to have to trim this power outage back a little bit, I think, on the western side of this from what we're seeing. But either way, from Mobile, the Florida Panhandle, up through Hattiesburg, Jackson, this isn't going to be widespread damage and power outages from where we stand right now, but more sporadic and in areas versus just a widespread tearing down of what we see. That's what we're looking at right now. The rainfall, Steph, as I mentioned, do the bands sit over Gulfport? Do they sit over Mobile? Do they sit over Pensacola? That's the million-dollar question right now.
And we can't answer that, right? We're going to have to watch this thing evolve, and it's going to be a nowcasting, and why you need to stay tuned to the Weather Channel. That's why you got to stay tuned to us, so we can tell you what actually is going on in this scenario. So let's show you along the Mississippi coast what you're going to see here. So there is a live look at New Orleans, also in Jackson, Mississippi. By the way, they spray the streets down there, so don't get it confused with storms coming through, because things have yet really been going here. We do have flood watches, though. We do have flash flood watches, because again, like, for everybody, because you don't know exactly where you're going to see the rain kind of go over the same areas and sit. So that's why you just have to be prepared. If you live here, it's just what it is. And if you're new to the area, I'm not worried about the people that have lived here, 10, 15, whatever years. I'm more concerned about the newbies down to this area, because it's always growing and expanding, or people on vacation type of a thing, all right? There's a lot of moisture associated with Gordon. That is going to be moving northbound. As it does that, it is going to cause some flooding here for us. Otherwise, into Texas, we have that onshore flow and that system that we've been dealing with. But watch as we go hour by hour. Again, with those rain bands, this is not going to be just a total washout. You're going to get rain bands and you're going to get sun. You're going to get rain bands and you're going to get clouds. And then, by the way, with that southerly flow, it's going to keep streaming in. And that's really when you might actually get the worst of it, kind of when it's through tomorrow morning, and then you just get that southerly flow. That's actually when things could be exacerbated for us. So, we'll have to watch for that. Rain, again, east side, New Orleans, I'm actually feeling really good about you guys. And of course, we have the Palm.